encouraging, educating, and empowering you into action. This is Warriors Talk with your host, Lady ReShell.
Hello, hello. Welcome to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell, where we move away from awareness towards action. It is Relationship Monday, and our topic for today is: are women expecting husband benefits from boyfriends? We are live on Intellectual Radio. We just heard from the Drive at 5 with Roman. Keep it locked right here on Intellectual Radio and allow us to feed your brain. On the last episode of Warriors Talk, I talked about the silent side of cancer. You can head over to YouTube and type in Intellectual Radio and stay connected for any episodes you may have missed. The quote of the day is: stop praising boyfriends until a man walks a woman down the aisle. He's just auditioning. Don't give a boyfriend the benefits of a husband. Know the difference between dating and marriage so that every Tom, Dick, and Harry can't say that they had all of you. This quote is by Tony Gaskins. Our announcement for today is the National Breast Cancer Coalition right now is having their 2025 Advocate Leadership Summit taking place in Washington, D.C. at the Park Hyatt Hotel, May 3rd through the 5th, for an exciting weekend of programming with Lobby Day following on Capitol Hill on May 6th. And the summit prepares advocates to take meaningful seats at the table wherever breast cancer decisions are being made, and advocates can come and walk away with an invigorating and inspiring to fight to end breast cancer. So go to stopcancer.org for more information. If you are tuned in on any form of social media, do me a favor, like the show, share the show, and invite someone else in on the show that you feel may benefit from this valuable information. Co-hosting with me today is none other than the cancer activist, the motivational speaker, and the founder of the Gal Foundation, Rizal Gilmore, aka The Biz. Hey, Rizal.
Hey, Lady ReShell.
What's up?
Hey, another year. We back at it again.
I
It's like
know.
time is going fast, but at the same time, I have really enjoyed this journey with you.
I'm excited. We've been doing this for a long time. It came up in my you know how it comes up on Facebook and it tells you like how long you've been knowing somebody, and it came up and I'm like, oh God, it's like a decade.
Yeah,
So
it gotta be at least a decade by now. Jeez, it only feel like maybe a couple years, but I know it's been at least probably a good decade.
yes, absolutely. I'm excited about the topic today as well. We keep educating individuals not just about cancer, but about relationships as well, for them to just walk away with tools that they can incorporate into their life to make sure that their health is on point, their relationships is on point. Rizal also talks, he does financial things with like stocks and stuff. So you come to Warriors Talk and you get a well-rounded education that you can walk away with. So today we're talking about women expecting husband benefits from boyfriends. And I was trying to remember, Rizal, like, because I think maybe all women may be guilty of this, um, maybe treating a man like they were, their husband and they were only a boyfriend. Um, I think it may be more common if you're living with that person. It's easy to fall into the wife role when you're living with that person versus, y'all living in y'all own separate quarters. Um, if you're living with them, it's easy to give them those wife benefits. It's like, how hard is it or easy is it to hold back on somebody that you're living with and say, that's only something a wife would do. I ain't doing that. And y'all living in the same quarters.
That's true, and it's really an audition. It's really an audition to what is to come. I think that a woman should already have those qualities of being a wife before becoming a wife, and not waiting to walk down the aisle. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna go start doing this now, and I'll start doing that because of my husband. I think it's already engraved in a woman's head that if you're living together, we're really moving forward, and only the next step is to go, down the aisle, whatever time that it may take, because a woman is going to show and prove who she is, that hey, I'm going to jump in that role and be all these things. But I think they get lost because the expectations, what they expect what the man now to do, to have that same mindset as what she's having, and then that doesn't happen, and you're giving him these titles, or you're giving yourself a title as Mrs., and it doesn't work out, and you upset, and now the relationship is like this. So now we at a standstill at, where do we go from here? How do we work this out? What boundaries do we need to set? So all that starts now to come into play.
Do you think it's fair that women expect that husband-like treatment from boyfriends?
I think it's fair, but don't expect it. Don't expect it. However, y'all been going, coasting, rocking, stick to that formula right there. You may ask, you may press the issue, because he's going to treat you how he sees you. So if he sees you as a wife, he's going to treat you as a wife. But if he see you as just a girlfriend, then he's going to treat you as a girlfriend, and ain't nothing easier than walking away. So
Wow. So it just depends on how he sees you. So is a woman able to, and I know women probably try to do this all the time, if a man sees you that way, he may put you in that category. And I heard one man said when a woman puts you in a category, you stay in that category. And like some women may try to do things, performing things, trying to get out of the category that a man put them in. Like maybe they put him in the category of, they started off as a side chick and they're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do all these things. So maybe I can move over to, he'll consider me as maybe wife material.
she's trying to shoot for the number one spot when she's at number two. So she ain't playing her position. So it's a reason why he's at that point where he is. And you don't want to try to convince him that away, honestly, because the same issues or problems that he could be having in the man, and he might have disclosed them to you, he might not. That's one of the things, like, you never tell another woman about the problems you're having with another woman, because they then try to show you that that problem doesn't exist with them, and you should come on over to my side because I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. But then he goes over to that side, and then there could be other issues. You never know a person until you live with them. You never know a person until you fight them or fight with them.
I
True.
never heard that
Because some people they fight dirty, and you never get that until you fight them. Like, whoa, you are really hitting below the belt. You are really doing some things that I never even thought that your character could even come up with. Like, who is this person that I'm fighting with? So yes, you never know a person until you live with them or until you fight with them.
one. Wow, I like that one. Because yeah, things do come out. You say things, and when you say them, you can't take them back. And it's just like, wow, I didn't know you was even thinking that of me. And you hear these words come out of somebody's mouth. So wow, learn something new today. I like that one. So I was thinking about, when I was thinking about this topic, I thought about the traditional roles of dating and marriage. So we know back in the day, maybe in our mom and dad's time, they dated to marry. So when they was with someone, that person, they thought of them as their protector, their provider, and they did all of those things, right? While the woman stayed at home and she was um, taking care of the kids, taking care of the family, anything that was in the home, right? And then today, many women we know are financially independent, they're doing things on their own, but they are still expecting the man to fulfill that financial role as well as the protector and a provider. Wow, you know, and playing these different roles, then tell them, oh no, you can't get these benefits because I'm just a girlfriend. But wait, I'm paying your mortgage, I'm paying your car note, I'm doing all these things, but then you want to cut me off from some of these benefits. Are we confused?
Well, funny thing about that. Well, I think women these days are just looking for a man, a good man, period. Not even going in with the expectation. They're just trying to find somebody who's going to be loyal and into them, you know, first and foremost, because it's hard out here in this dating field, this dating world. You don't know what the intentions or what the other person is thinking. You don't want to be used. You don't want to, have them take you to the cleaners for everything. You don't want your heart broken. So defense is up. So just finding someone that's going to care for you and love you the way that you want to be loved. I think they're more so looking, for that. And when they do find someone who's maybe fitting the bill, fitting to that category, once they start showing those things as, hey, this is what I can offer and do for you. If we was married, you would get X, Y, and Z. So now I feel like I'm being baited in by the situation. I should not have to go and have to buy a ring just for you to cook for me or or do whatever. You're throwing bait out there like that's just that's messed up. That's not going to last because it's not being built on like really true like who you are.
I agree with that. Yeah. Sometimes people can't put on a show. And then, then once you make that commitment and you get in there and then you see the real person, you're like, who the hell is that? Yeah, I totally
Mhm.
agree. According to Dr. John Gray, he's the author of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. He says people expect marriage benefits without the security of marriage, leading to unmet expectations and resentment. And I believe the resentment part because I know, I think women kind of do this a lot. We kind of build ourselves up and into thinking that this is going to happen. We have our own little fairy tale about what's going to happen. And then when it doesn't happen, we upset. Oh, I wasted my time. You don't wasted my years, my baby making years when you could have pulled out at any time and left and not sat in that relationship when it wasn't going the way you wanted it to go. So I agree with a lot of times we don't even communicate our expectations to the other individual for them to know what it is that we expect, what we want, and basically tell them, not really giving them an ultimatum, but these are my core things that I need, and if I'm not getting those things, then there's no need for us to even continue.
But you also have to think that there's a lot of women, if they're at that point, they have time invested. That person is their best interest. They put a lot of work into, showing this other person, how they want to be treated. Nobody wants to start over. Nobody wants to let go of what they started. They want to finish it. They want to see it come to reality. They want to see it come forth. They want it to happen for them the way how they're planning it. So they'll put in that little bit of work, and then when it doesn't happen the way that they thought, they get upset. And again, like I said, now it's a whole conflict within the household or between the two individuals. And but it's really your fault. Like if that man wasn't leading you, showing you, I want you, if you want me in your life, place me there, put me there. Don't have me thinking or have me believing that this is going to happen and we're going to be happy ever after, and your heart is not in it.
And that's period. Like it's not complicated. I think as humans we make it complicated. We make love seem like it's so hard, and it really isn't. It really isn't. So If Rosal said, if you want him there, put him there. Don't be playing games. We're not gonna put a label on it. We just gonna go with the flow and see what happens. Like, we're not we're not doing that.
And sometimes, that do happen, just going with the flow. And the man will realize that, you know what? When a man realizes that he can't live without you, you've won. You have won. Women don't understand. There's certain little things that men will say or that they will do. When a man start asking for your opinion, you've won because he's letting you know and show you matter. Your value, you're adding value to me from whatever advice or what you say or what you do. You're adding value. I need you. So that point right there, you're winning. You ain't got to put a time when you see that's where they go wrong when they say you're wasting my time and this that. No, I'm observing the playing field here and making sure that you're going to be the queen that I need you to be. So a lot goes into it. Everybody ain't supposed to be in your life who you think that's supposed to be there. Maybe you're supposed to spend that 5 years, 10 year, whatever, debating this is the one or not, because he's now showing me things that I didn't see in the beginning, or she's showing me things that I didn't notice in the beginning. So yeah, take your time. You ain't got to run and jump in marriage right away. Marriage is forever, so you will have forever to go.
Do you feel that men are being pressured to act like they are providers without commitments?
I do. And reason being because talking to a lot of women, that's the first thing that they say. You're supposed to be the provider. That's like number one or something on the list. So I see a lot of women thinking, like that. Well, at least women of a certain age caliber. Because the young girls, they ain't thinking like that. They're like, what little naked outfit that we could wear to the club and attract more men when this man here is trying to show. So yeah.
I was going to say, is that provider term just reserved for a marriage, or or if we're in a committed relationship, it goes with that too?
I think that term is used very loosely. I don't think they consider it just using far as in the marriage. I think they use it for a relationship also, especially if you guys are living together. So the first thing you're supposed to provide for me. You're supposed to take care of this. You're supposed to take care of that. But nowadays, as I say, with how inflation and how everything is, it's hard dealing with one person, a man. You really need two people working in the household meet, to have both ends meet. I mean, look at eggs. Like, damn, I might have to go half on somebody with some eggs. Freaking eggs is like $12 for a dozen. Like, I got 5 on it. Like, that's ridiculous. We're gonna have to start raising chickens of our own or something, because it's getting ridiculous. I mean, gas don't want to come down. Eggs don't want to come down. It's just keep getting more and more expensive. So to find someone to just sit and coast with, and as you go along and you see what she has to offer and how she is, she's bringing you peace, then that's when it start clicking in your head like, hey, we need to settle down, and I need to see this, for a lifetime, if this is who you are.
Sometimes I feel like women feel entitled to certain benefits because they're in a serious relationship. Like, oh, I'm giving him my time. I'm loyal to him. I'm sleeping with him. I'm at home cooking this and doing all these things. And they feel like, um, why wouldn't he invest in me financially? Like, whatever I ask him for, he should be able to give it to me.
And I'm sure he has. Some way, some shape, some form or another, he has invested and put money into her. I was listening to a young lady actually today, and she said, if you're at home and this woman is constantly, it takes money to please her, or constantly wants to do all these things, and you spending hundreds of dollars every other night, she's not into you. Because a real woman, baby, we need to save that up for X, Y, and Z. We need to save for a rainy day, whatever the situation is. But if she got you just out there spending your money and you out there trying to impress her, she's not into you.
Wow. Are men holding out with commitment while they still expecting women to be loyal, doing wifely duties and supporting them?
Yes, we are. I can't lie. Yes, we do. Because again, it makes you think while I'm out there doing whatever I'm doing, it's going to make me think like, you know what? I have a good woman at home. She cooks for me. She do this. I don't want to mess that up. But again, if you the type that's still going to the club, you see what's out there, and it's like that right there is only going to last a few minutes. That's not going to last because that person isn't going to stop doing what they're doing because they like the attention. Versus if you water what you have at home, you could get that same attention and all of those things there from that person that's home waiting for you, doing all that stuff. Because that other one, they ain't going to be about it. They're not ready for a commitment yet.
There was a study at the University of Michigan, and they found that women in long term relationships tend to provide more emotional labor than men, even without a formal commitment. And we do. For some reason, we just tend to lock in emotionally, even if they haven't said, "Oh, we're committed. It's just you and I."
That's very true. And again, I think it was Michael Bazin who asked the question, can you be in love with someone just from being over the phone that you've never even seen? And I think because women get attached emotionally faster than anything. So if you saying the right things and the right words and you give them that attention just over the phone, yeah, you probably could say it's happened. I see it all the time on Catfish. How they just be in love with all these men and women and they never FaceTime. They just, the conversation was just there. It's what they needed at the time. So yeah,
So, as it relates to relationship and dating, like, should the roles be clearly separated? So, like, what's okay when you're dating that should be reserved for when you're married?
nobody's not going to follow them. That's the thing. We can sit them down. We can lay them, but that woman is going to try to inflict you to do something that you probably don't want to do or not as of yet. So nobody's going to follow the rules. We could lay it out, we could say it, but it doesn't get followed. We don't listen. We do what we want to do. And I say, hey, do what works for you. We got all these things. People say what they want to say. Well, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. But who's to say? That's just like after my wife had passed away, people were saying, "Oh, you shouldn't date right away. You shouldn't. You should wait like 5 years." Look, who are you to say what my heart needs or what I, if you
And
don't know where you're
that's
going to find
what it
love?
says.
Yeah, you can't tell you one, you haven't even been in my situation to understand what I'm dealing with or what I'm going through and what I got going on. If anything, just be there for me. You ain't got to tell me what not to do. Like you order, like, are you a narcissist? You ordering me on what to do and what not to do. It's crazy.
Wow. What do you
Only person was my cousin. She said, I don't care if you meet somebody in the next 2 weeks. If you like, go for it. And she was with, and I understood that. I did what I had to do, during my time. The
right?
marriage is now has been till death do us part. I lived my vows. It's now time to move forward and move on. Tell me that there's a time period to do that. That's on me. That's up to me.
Exactly. And it doesn't take away from whatever you and your wife had. It's just that what are you supposed to do? You can't grieve yourself to death just sitting there, and then you knowing she's not going to come back. Like, some people are just, don't tell me what to do, because they wouldn't even do it. They always try to give you advice on something they would never do. If you have never experienced it, then you can't tell me anything. No, I don't want to hear from you.
Yeah.
When do you think it becomes too much, expecting stuff without a commitment? Like, are both men and women guilty of wanting wife benefits without actually doing a commitment, and the woman wanting the man to do everything without really reciprocating anything, thinking like, oh, he's supposed to do that because he's the man, I don't have to do it?
Mhm.
Like, when does it become too much?
I think when you start putting stuff in your name, when you start joining bank account and all this different kind of stuff, right there, you went way across the line. That is too much right now with the commitment of that's not there on what you're trying to get to. So because you break up, then you going like, that's my car or that's my house. My name is on the lead, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's too much when you start putting your name on stuff.
Hmm. I always like to go back to the Bible, and it talks about, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtain favor from the Lord, not he who finds a girlfriend. There's no favor. There's no favor in you finding a girlfriend. It comes, the favor comes when you find a wife. Um, and it talks about the temptation to sin sexually, when each man should have his own wife and each woman should have her own husband, trying to discourage you from dating so long. Like, get your own husband, get your own wife, and don't live in sexual sin. I think
Well,
sometimes we get comfortable living that way.
and that's true. I've actually had, I think I told somebody, don't let your boyfriend block your blessings because your husband could be right there in front of you.
Hey,
You want to be there for 7 years, and here I'm saying that I'm ready and ready to go, but you want to stay because you invested in him. Like I said, it's hard to let go in what you invested in because you want to see it come to you want to see it come to pass. So yes, it becomes very hard, but a lot of women out there, once they see it ain't going nowhere, yeah. I remember back in 1996 when Biz went, he offered, but I should have took him up on his offer. I probably wouldn't be in this situation right now. I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't be going through what I'm going through if I would have just listened.
wow.
So yeah, don't block your blessings.
Don't block your blessings. So my question is to those who are listening and those who will be kind to everyone in the show. What do you think about the topic today? Are women expecting husband benefits from boyfriends? And are women expecting too much from their boyfriends? Or are the men just not stepping up? So that's my question to the people that are listening on the show. So you could comment, even once the show is done, just comment and let us know, what are your thoughts on that. I feel like as women, we get so locked in really quick because we do want to have that stability. We do want to have that security. So we tend to lock in on a person really quick, and then really not communicating everything that we want. Okay, yeah, what I really want is, we can date for a while, but eventually, like, I want this to lead to marriage. And I don't want to date a long time. Like, sometimes you just have to put it out there and say what it is that you want. And if that's not what they want, then they're gonna go. And if it's what they want, then they're gonna say, okay, yeah, like, let's talk about that. I think sometimes we're afraid to really say what it is that we want. So a lot of times we will go with the flow and then get mad as the flow is not going the way that we want it to go, and then try to change the flow.
Absolutely. That's how it. Yeah, yeah. You've
I
wrapped
had
it
a
up in a nutshell.
I had an ex-girlfriend that she was dating this guy, and he told her at the beginning, nah, I don't want a relationship. Like, that's not what I want. Like, we can hang out, we can kick it, hook up, but the relationship part I don't want. And they was doing it for like that situation for like 3 years, and then she decided she wanted to have a talk with him about it, and thinking that it was going to change her mind because they were doing all of those duties, right? Those crossing the line from boyfriend duties to husband duties, girlfriend duties to wife duties. And then she figured, okay, he's doing all of these things with me. He's investing with me, and everything, paying bills, like, and he's pouring into me. Like, this is stuff that a husband would do for, that's what she was thinking. And then when she had to talk with him, he was like, no, like, I still stand at, that's not what I want. And so then she got an attitude and she decided she didn't want to see him no more. I'm just like, he told you what he wanted. He was
From the
serious.
beginning. Mhm.
So I think sometimes we can set our
I had
own self up for failure.
right. I had I think listening to a woman once, and she said, "I want to be, like I meet you. We need to be married by 2 years. 2 years. I might not even like you in 2 years. Let me understand you, get to know you. Let me see how you do when conflict happens. Let me see you when we're struggling and we're down and out trying to make ends meet. Let's see how we react to that before you say 2 years, because I still say even a year, I'm still just getting to know you, especially if we don't live together. So women really expect when she see those things, it's like, boom, he bit the bait. I got him. Because she's going to make that man feel real low if he's not doing those things. If she's putting in X, Y, and Z, this is where I'm at, I'm paying this bill, she expect him to help out because you are the person that I am sleeping with. So you are the first person who I turn to for help. And I turn to you and you don't help me. Whoa, whoa, it's coming. The avalanche is coming. You is about to get cut off. And that changed the whole perspective of the relationship. Do something that she don't that you not supposed to do, or she expects you to do, and you don't do it, and see what happens.
You're going to see the real her. Absolutely. Okay, so here are some final thoughts. Think about it. Should boyfriend and girlfriend roles be separate roles from marriage? And then you can reflect on, just talk to yourself. Are you giving too much in a relationship without a commitment? Or are you expecting more than you're willing to give? So I would encourage you to set boundaries in a relationship, have open and honest conversation, and let the person know what your expectations are. And stop giving spousal benefits without a spousal level commitment. And then you won't walk away disappointed and have resentment for that person. That's all you want to
They
share.
they can set all the boundaries that they want. They're not going to follow them. They are just going to be happy that this man is doing good and he's giving me what I need. He's showing the interest. He's there. And that's what they're going to go with. Their head is going to be this big on cloud nine. And they're going to tell all their girlfriend, he does this, he does that. They're not going to live to these boundaries and these rules that they set. I don't know why you keep saying or thinking that it's not going to happen. It's
It's
just
not
not.
y'all.
It's just going to keep going along as they go along.
Stop setting these boundaries. Y'all know y'all not gonna set some boundaries that are obtainable. Okay.
Boundaries, what's that? Remember on the cartoon when the rooster would draw the line and he would set it for the dog? That's the people right now. Go ahead and say, go ahead and cross the line, and he erase the line, and then he'll go and cross it. Yeah, they're not going to follow him.
You guys don't go anywhere. Thank you, Rizal, for those words of wisdom. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next is Pillow Talk with God right here on Intellectual Radio. I'm going to leave y'all with these words from Steve Harvey. He says, don't play the role of a wife to a man that isn't your husband. So join me next Monday right here on Intellectual Radio at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. As always, thank you for tuning in to Warriors Talk with author and founder Lady ReShell. Co-hosting with me today is Rizal Gilmore, a.k.a. The Biz. Warriors Talk is changing lives one warrior at a time.
Thank you for listening to this week's edition of Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell. To find out more about Warriors Talk, follow at Warriors Talk, the number 1, on all social media outlets, and Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell on YouTube. Please join us next week and every Monday evening at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time on intellectualradio.com for Warriors Talk with Lady ReShell, where we encourage, educate, and empower you into action.